Okay, and welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Grand Tactician, the Civil War. The last stream is a little bit on the short side. Hopefully this will be a slightly longer stream as I'm starting earlier in the day. And we're going to kind of continue what we were doing. We're trying to retake the Washington Fort here. As soon as this army here has regained readiness, it'll probably actually go ahead and push up the road and maybe threaten Peterson. Once we get the Washington Fort back, we're going to send, maybe, I don't think it's the Army Shenandoah. Actually, yeah, it is the Army Shenandoah. Army of the Shenandoah around onto the peninsula to go up and threaten Richmond. If everything goes according to plan and we can actually secure the area around Alexandria, I'll probably try to put a fort here to help protect Alexandria. So we can spread the two armies up to deal with both approaches. Hopefully we deal with the army of the Northwest here in Virginia. As soon as this fort's done, this army is probably going to actually move over to St. Louis, to fortify St. Louis, and then come down and take the depot here. This army is going ahead and take in Collington, and I suppose probably actually wants to go ahead and build a fort. Or is it still... yeah, probably wants to just go and build a fort there. Go ahead and look at the front lines. We can see... I think that's coming from the supply depot there being controlled. So if we take that supply depot, then this should all go to our side. There's an army here and there's an army here. That's where that's coming from. So it makes the effective range of those armies. There's the one army in Virginia, and West Virginia, obviously. We have gone ahead and sieged down the fort guarding Norfolk, and have thus taken over Norfolk. This army, again, I was thinking maybe pushing up here to threaten Richmond. We could also go overland and deal with the fort over here. Protecting Moorhead. Take Fort Macon. Fort Macon alone make it easier for me to send ships back and forth from port. Right now we have all the fleets in port recovering. Apparently they don't recover their days at sea. I'm not sure if it's they don't recover when we do have two fleets here. We should have two fleets here. Don't necessarily recover them right when they're... either they start stream at 0. I'm not sure what the math there. Yeah, my guess is that they just start the stream at 0. So we just loaded the save, so some of the numbers might have to be updated by leaving the game going. But yeah, we'll get them recovered, and then we'll send them out to start blockading ports again. We'll give them like a week, and then we'll check up on them. One thing I should do is go around to all the armies that aren't currently engaged, like this one. And we now, in the last one we got the upgrade for the artillery, which makes the artillery units bigger. So for example, if I were to go to build a new artillery unit, this one side, yeah, max size is 240 on the artillery now. So as a side effect, we probably want to merge the guns up to make slightly larger units. So it's about, they're about 30% larger, or about 3 times larger than they were before. So we go ahead and merged those 4 into 2, for example. We'll go ahead and try to upgrade these to the best guns we can get in a moment in our stockpile. And yeah, that's basically what we're going to go around to do. I'd probably go do sort of the same with the cavalry as well. In fact, it may make sense to do it with the cavalry here, because this is just 2 that we can merge into 1. Army of the Ohio here is one of the guys who got running around building forts, so we can ignore them for the moment. Same with Indiana. Mississippi, we do actually have 3 sets of guns for the Mississippi one. Not sure if it's going to allow me to merge these all up into 1. No. So given that, I'm going to have the bigger one stay as is, and we'll go ahead and send the smaller one to be replenished. That'll cause it to regenerate quicker, which is one way to get them to fill up a little bit faster. Which these ones. And upgrade them. Department of the West. Yeah, probably... Oh, that's the division commander. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and merge these two. Again, optimize the ordnance into one unit. The Department of the West, I believe, is actually engaged in a place where we probably don't want to send the units home right away, but Ohio is, I think, where we started. Yeah. So that's the artillery reforms. We may want to keep after the artillery. We can definitely improve the artillery a little bit over what we've got. Policy-wise, working on print notes. We're probably going to print notes 2 after that, followed by war bonds. At which point we'll be looking probably either to military 2. Maybe we increase the amount of recruits we're getting. Or to go into military, or into industry so we can get a little more industry going. Not sure which of those I'm going to go for next, after the economic ones. Strategy-wise, we do have sort of a goal at the moment. Obviously, capturing Richmond is fairly strong. It's minus 20 morale. I think even if we lose it, they take that minus 20 morale. They don't get it back. And then holding on to it applies more. We want to maintain a support above 60 through the election. And we ideally want to probably capture 10 forts before the election. I think we currently control 3 of theirs. And then we do have an army preparing to try to cut the Confederacy in half by going down the Mississippi. So that would be the Army of the Mississippi here. Which arguably is ready to go. So we might go send it down to Memphis. Yeah, let's go ahead and give you an order to go down to Memphis. And then for you, I'm going to splurge a little bit. Apparently having low supplies here, which maybe doesn't surprise me because they're in hostile territory. I'm going to have you go ahead and construct a fort. To hold your gains there. And then probably build a supply depot so it can supply up, hopefully. This looks like reasonably good weather. Go ahead and engage the Army of the North. You have the readiness for it. And then we're going to try to take that fort back. Okay. So that I should probably be good to advance time. Project-wise, we're going to save up for ironclad gunboats. So we have some stuff to take forts by boat. We're obviously, commerce-wise, we're saving for improved credit rating. Diplomacy might actually be worth doing some envoys. So we've got space for letters of marque and stuff. And then the agriculture and industry is actually going to be improving the supply situation in here. Something applications says I want to probably build a farm, which is going to be 2.5 million agriculture. And was it an ironworks? I think it was the ironworks. Yeah, ammunition. Next. In this area, just to improve the supply situation in the area of Washington, D.C. So with that, I think we've got everything we want going. Let's go ahead and move a week, or until a fight starts. We technically have a fight going on in here, but we're letting it go the slow way instead of the fast way. And another bond issue, which is fine. Some of them might from the construction actually queued up, to be fair. Okay, it's a little bit snowy here, which is why we're getting some... apparently only -4 speed. So we should be able to engage these guys. Someone's arrived at the destination? Okay. Who arrived at the destination? Fremont. Ah. That was so we could build a fort at Grafton. We'll come back to that. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, this is where I'm going to put a jump cut in for the battle, assuming the enemy does not run away. If the enemy runs away, there won't be a jump cut, and that'll be what's going on there. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm going to mute the mic shortly just to give myself a small gap in which to do that jump cut. Yeah, so stuff doesn't get cut off. But with that, we're going to get into the battle. Okay, and welcome back. Assuming this battle is a real battle, and not the enemy running away from us, this will be the first battle of the stream in our Grand Tactician Civil War run as the Union. We do outnumber the enemy about 2 to 1, so there's a decent possibility that they will run away. I don't know how much of that is true, to be fair. We do have Fog of War on, so our number estimation of the enemy may be incorrect. They were smaller the last time we engaged them, so they may have attempted to raise new units. They may have reinforced their existing units, to be fair, while we were regaining readiness. So that number may be an overestimate. It may actually be an underestimate. I'm not so sure. But either way, the estimate's not going to be so wrong that we're outnumbered. So we definitely outnumber them, and there's a decent possibility, because we outnumber them, that they will take the first opportunity that they can to run away. It is 3:22 in the afternoon for this battle starting. Our scouts report the enemy is near Beverley, West Virginia. Our army is prepared for battle. We are facing the Army of the Northwest under the command of Albert S. Johnston, with a strength of some estimated 13,000 men and 49 guns. I don't remember them having that many guns. So either our scout report is really wrong, or they got more guns. The enemy army is green. Their morale is reported to be stable. Reports indicate their supply situation is outstanding. Our supply state is also outstanding. And they do hold the objective down there, so we do have to come to them. McClellan has not pulled his magical I am on the defense even while I'm attacking trick, which kind of in the circumstance works for me. Well, that's a pretty deep river. So we're going to have to find a good crossing point so that our men don't totally wear themselves out in the river. And we want to get to there. So I'm going to hope that they are not going to block us trying to cross. And I'm going to give a fairly long-range move order to move the entire army, say, onto the plains over here. McClellan, do you actually command it? Anyway, well, wait, no. That makes sense. I haven't hit the play button yet, so the deployment phase doesn't it? Okay. Hit the play button, and then we can give the long-range move order for the entire army to move. It's reporting that it might be trying to move across, ensuring that it should not be allowed to move across. Okay, let's... Oh, it's really not liking the pathfinding here. Okay, no, we're gonna belay that order. I don't think it's gonna have issues commanding us to do... Oh, it's still not particularly appreciative of that move order. Okay, we're gonna order it to move over here. This is at least closer to the subject, and we can start getting it moving. And of course, that's going to take a while. So there's a decent possibility if the enemy doesn't want to fight us here today, that the enemy will simply slink away before we get into engagement range. The terrain here is not very conducive to a rapid assault. So there's a pontoon bridge there that should be crossable. That may be really the only real bridge to get to our objective, get to our enemies. So unless there is a crossable portion of the bridge, then that's where we gotta go. This does look like pretty steep. I know in previous fights, on the bridge over there. So the bridge over there, the most sensible one is going to be that bridge, I think. Yeah, that's going to be the most sensible bridge between us and them. So we're going to move the entire army over here. We're going to see if we can do that quickly enough. And then one by one, I'll order them to cross the pontoon bridge to deploy on the other side, and then we'll go running north. Presumably they're over here if they're not over here. Don't know how aggressive the AI is at accounting for terrain specialties. You're connected. I'm surprised you didn't get a move order. We'll issue a detach order, and then we'll detach you and move you around for reconnaissance reasons. So there should be a rider coming out to say hello to you. Unless that rider has already arrived. No, the rider has already arrived. That's what I get for putting on high game speed. Okay. And then, yeah, we want you to ride ahead and figure out what the state of the bridge is, please. I say right ahead. It's actually arguably behind, but, you know, it'll catch up its cavalry. It's faster than the infantry. So I was about to say, we might be ready by 6. It's probably going to be 7 in the afternoon before we're ready to really start crossing. So yeah, the season possibility, if the AI does not want to engage us here, then it will simply walk away in the night before we get to start shooting. Oh. It is fairly late in November, so apparently the enemies are simply disengaged. So this won't get edited out because it really isn't much of a battle. Sorry about that. Hoping we'd have a battle. It's in fact not the first battle, it is the first runaway. The enemy has run away. And of course, no shooting happens, so yes, it's technically a minor victory, but it doesn't do any morale damage or morale benefit for either side. Hopefully, McClellan will simply be able to engage again the following day. Victory at Beverley. Army of the Northwest in retreat. We didn't see that. In theory, we probably captured some guys while we were waiting, or while we were trying to pursue them. How's the prisons looking? Parole prisoners. It's already being upgraded. It's going to be done in 15 days. And apparently we already got so many prisoners there, the prison camp's full. Really? You overfilled that one instead of filling the other one up to full? Okay. Oh no, the camp is full, not over full. That's fair. It'll get upgraded and we'll have more space there. And what, that means we have a surplus. 5,000 there, so there'll be 10,000 once it's upgraded, an extra 10,000 once it's upgraded. About 6,000 surplus before besides the 10,000 upgrade. Probably means I should invest in another prison camp somewhere. hospital. We built, that's what the dots here is implying. It's, hey, the AI, if I put this on automate, would be really interested in building a hospital. It's like, yeah, I'm building one too. And probably about to capture one, but that's slightly different. Slightly different problem. Okay, so where it's moved to, we'll go ahead and issue a move order to re-engage. And presumably won't re-engage until sometime during the following day. Simply due to the realities of having to move around. Construction complete. Fort Wiggum. Okay. So with that, I would like you to move to St. Louis. Build a fort over there as well. Oh, and we're going to have this guy build a fort just to secure Virginia. West Virginia. Construct a fort. Unit arrived where he's told to go. Corps has arrived at its objective. Yes, you have. Okay. And you were engaged in the fort. Okay. So the fort's engaged, the army on the other side's engaged, so you are actually probably ready to go down to the peninsula. I see. Yep. Guess we got another loan. New set of bonds issued? Okay. Doesn't necessarily surprise me because we just built a couple buildings. We got engagement. So, once again, assuming they do not withdraw from us, we will have another battle. So, YouTube, once again, there will be a jump cut. Unless there isn't, because they run away. We'll find out in a moment. Okay, and back from the jump cut. We did end up winning the battle there at Beverley, so His Excellency the President, the Battle of Beverley has ended with the Army of the Northwest retreating in panic. My command has earned us a total victory, with the enemy army ready for their lives. The enemy has reportedly suffered total casualties of 3,673 men, thereof 436 were killed, and 1,125 were captured. Their morale is believed to be nervous. Our casualties total 1,168 men, with 137 killed, 169 missing, and the rest wounded. So, we had hospitals working well in the area. We could get most of those back. Morale is still eager. Supply situation is still good. We have captured 2,039 rifles from the enemy and 1 gun from the battlefield. I think they had, well, actually, no, they probably only had 1 gun. Yeah, we probably took their 1 and only gun. Enemy, or 1,068 enemy soldiers have been captured and taken to POW camps. So the captured to transport to POW camps is a little bit of an error there. I guess some of the people that were captured were deemed not worth sending to the POW camps. Alright, we let time go again. The Trent Affair. Confederate diplomats captured. Shots fired at British ships. British furious over the incident. Great Britain apparently planning an invasion. So, apparently not enough to really be a considerable fear. They're only up to 22%. Here they go. Enemy retreating before us. Glorious victory at Fort Washington. Okay, so we've retaken Fort Washington. Battle of Fort Washington has ended with the Confederate units retreating panic by command. Apparently, it was an total victory against the garrison. Enemy had suffered 75 men, none were captured or killed. Our casualties total 44 men. 43 are missing, so most of them went missing, not actually being killed. Okay, let's order this army to actually move down to Lewisburg. So that'll make it better. Winter quartered in the middle of the forest there. Okay, how goes the days at sea for our units? 51. I think you... Well, actually, that's a good thing to check. Yeah, so you should probably be able to get up to 90 if you get full supplies. Or is that the sloops that are... Oh, frigates are 53, okay. Oh, we got a steam frigate here that's... Steam frigates are what's dragging us down. We can probably stay out at sea if we're actually not moving very much, okay. Okay, no, their provisions aren't full. That's where the issue is coming from, at least in the case of these guys. Could potentially try moving them up to a better port for resupply, which I think is what we'll try with the squadron. Which didn't work. We're probably trying to take too many supplies out of an area that just doesn't have that many supplies. How goes down here? 49, let me guess, that's provisions? Yeah, half their provisions. Key West here might not provide enough transport capacity to resupply those ships. Okay. On the other hand, River Fleet, you ready? 60% food. Oh, we just have a food shortage. Okay. All the ships in port apparently just short on provisions. Waiting for the roll of resupply before they go out again. Building that fort. Something finished. That's probably the hospital. Yeah. Chesapeake and Ohio Canal Hospital. It already 79, almost 80% full, brand new. Okay. Local reduction in mortality, minus 238%. Yes. Oh, you got caught up in the fort fight. Okay. No, you continue moving. We do have a fight going on here. I think we're winning, honestly. I think we're winning. It's not a fast fight. Battle of the Alexandria port here. Whenever construction finished. That's probably a fort somewhere. Oh no, that was... Well, yes, that's a fort somewhere. That's this fort. Go ahead and just upgrade Fort Washington. Increase the likelihood it falls again. And of course, that upgrade cost a bond, so basically a bond worth of money. So we took another bond. So we're down to BB+. Which is one of the reasons we're focusing so much on funding. Okay, so we have the Department of Pennsylvania here, which I suppose we could probably throw around the long side and send over to Winchester, but we'll hold off on that. I'm not sure once we win this naval battle here if we're going to need to bring in more guys in case we get attacked. So we'll take a pretty defensive posture. Okay, and we have actually forced the Army of the Northwest back into Virginia proper. It is out of West Virginia. We'll see how the weather in West Virginia changes while we're waiting for the Department of the Ohio to organize. If it stays reasonably good, and it doesn't look like it's going to stay reasonably good, it's already a little white, we may attempt to push into Western Virginia, following up after that army. And this army is technically ready to go, but it's building a fort, so we may... Well, actually, I think we're going to let it finish, and then I think we're probably going to try to build a supply depot here. Because the supplies are apparently a little bit bad. Because we're basically out of provisions, okay. I might have to actually withdraw back into Missouri to resupply the army. Leave the fort to hold the gains. Pendergast is at his destination. Where's Pendergast? Pendergast, okay. I'm going to tell you to actually turn to... That's not the port I would have expected you to go to if I told you to return to port, but that works. Yeah, that works. Okay, and you're vaguely ready for offensive action again. Do you go threaten Richmond by coming up the road here, the railroad? Or do I run down to the Confederate port and fort down there? You know, let's go threaten Petersburg. Well, apparently we have a project that's ready. We're going to hold off credit rating. Bit of market reform. Which is 14 million, which is quite a bit. Someone was wounded in action, presumably in the fighting around here. And whenever construction is finished. Fort Wilder in Arkansas. or Arkansas, depending on how you want to be mean to the local people. Pronunciation. Supply situation's a little bit better, but as you can see, the supply situation here implies we're getting it from enemy territory, which is probably why it's not working. Yeah, from past the enemy. I think we need to pull back. Apparently they have a supply depot here. Let's go steal their supplies. It looks like the Department of the Ohio. We'll give it a little bit more time. It's in the green, but it's not in like the good portion of the green, so it'll be back right in the yellow again. And if we are going to go on the attack, we probably want to be on the attack long enough to fight a battle and then go down to Lynchburg. Army Indiana has arrived at the destination. Remember, Sarah's Army Indiana's job is to build a fort when they got there. We probably don't need this fort. I think we've driven them far enough out of Missouri that this will be superfluous, but let's get it fortified anyway. Nope. One of our weapon purchases is done. 50,000 Lorenz rifles have officially been delivered. Do I splurge and get more? What do we got for rifled muskets in the stockpile? 19,000 Springfields. 14,000 Lorenz. That is about it, apparently. We have some planes rifles coming in. Wait, let's I'm gonna go ahead and consume a few more of these very expensive rifles to make sure we got a decent stockpile. So that's gonna be an entire another bond we're just gonna take here in rifles. Arrive, all 50,000 of them will be arrived within 84 days. Yeah. At the same time, that means I should probably go around and make sure armies that are not engaged are up to date on their weapons. Lorenz. Apparently not in a state where we can upgrade them to anything better than Lorenz, so Lorenz is what they will have. It's fine. Maillard carbine is not too bad for the cavalry. Department of Pennsylvania here. Springfield rifle musket is what we're trying to standardize to. Mississippi can be... Do we not have enough to upgrade you? No, you should be able to upgrade to the rifle musket. Maybe it just didn't consider that an upgrade. Okay. All carbines. Oh, and these artillery can get merged. The one big battery. And then this is another army we're going to upgrade. Augustine. Yeah, no. Better rifles, please. Is Mississippi really what you're considering an upgrade? Okay. Rifle musket. Rifle musket. Augustine rifle musket. Springfield, please. Okay. So this entire unit's on rifles, which is good to see. Can we actually merge those two? Yeah. One big gun battery. Building 3-inch ordnance, which is nice. Then we have the Department of the West here. Let's upgrade its, make sure its rifles are up to date. Springfield rifle's good. Regular, anything get upgraded? Upgraded. Well, actually, maybe I could have gotten away without building more ends. It might have been fine with what we had. Well, we'll definitely be fine either way at this point. Gives me space to actually raise more units, I suppose, then. And we might raise more units. Oh, actually, before we do this unit, we want to do the one on the march down to Vicksburg, Memphis area. Memphis, you. Okay, I'm guessing it doesn't assume that the Lorenz is a real upgrade over the Mississippi rifle. So the Mississippi is 500 yard, very good accuracy, versus Lorenz, which is apparently only 400 yard. Okay, so apparently the Mississippi actually has better range than the rifle musket. Springfield rifle musket. Although, that's at the cost of rate of fire, and I would prefer a little bit more rate of fire, so we'll probably go ahead and actually do that as an upgrade. Oh, certainly the same with the Plains rifle. Where the Plains rifle is... yeah, no, it's just a rate of fire upgrade of the Lorenz. Yeah. Army of the Shenandoah, I think, is equipped fully with either Lorenz or the rifle muskets. Department of the West we did, Department of the Ohio we did, Pennsylvania we did. Northwest Virginia hasn't, but North Virginia is also kind of engaged. So we'll hold off on that one. Potomac should be fine. Garrison, for whatever reasons, in the armies instead of the garrisons. 2nd Battalion, Springfield Muskets, okay. Indiana, Springfield Muskets, okay. Yeah, probably could have got away without buying those Lorenz. We'll see how things change over time. You might try to actually phase the Lorenz back out. Okay, and looking at the time, this is probably a good place to put a part break in. If you're watching on YouTube, this is going to be where this campaign episode is going to end. There will be another one up tomorrow, because I'm going to continue recording during this stream. We only had one battle that we went out onto the battle map. That was a real battle, so I'm going to leave the other one, the one that was just with the withdrawal, in this video, so this will probably be a little bit of a long video. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to take a short stretch between breaks, but then we'll be right back to recording. So until the next part, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next one, and bye for now.